Hi remodeling fans, I'm Jay with Classic Kitchens Etc. And today we are talking about wood flooring and wood look flooring. Let's talk about wood flooring. So we have a couple different types of wood flooring, and we have things that look like wood. We have solid wood, which you've probably heard before. This is just a piece of solid wood. You can see the veining goes right through the whole piece of wood, stained on the top. You can get it in any size you want, just about any size you want. It gets more expensive the wider you get the plank. This used to be real popular back in the day, solid wood planks. I see this a lot in homes, pre 1960, 3-inch plank, oak plank, like, this thick, 2.5 inch, 3 inches, solid wood. So that's kind of an older style of wood. And this is also solid wood here. You can see the wood grain on the back, solid wood all the way through. The new style of wood is engineered wood, and that's this guy right here. This is an engineered wood, meaning that it is made like plywood. I don't know if you can see this, we'll get you a zoom in on this. It has different layers of wood that are glued together. And then it has a top layer of wood that is typically a hardwood, like an oak or something like that, an acacia or acacia, however you pronounce that. Can be refinished depending on the thickness of the top layer of wood. The top layer of wood determines how expensive the wood is. The thicker the top layer, typically, the more expensive the wood. So advantages on engineered wood over solid wood. I mean, you don't really want wood around water at all, right? But eventually you're gonna have things spilled on the floor. You're gonna be cleaning it with a mop maybe or something, but mostly like spills, humidity, things like that, right? This cannot perform as well as the engineered wood. Engineered wood, made like plywood, is if you get it wet, these different layers of wood will bend differently, right? So you might have one bend down, one bend up, and all different ways. And the theory is behind it is that the different layers will kind of cancel each other out, so you have less damage to the very top layer of wood. That's the theory of why it's made. Also, it's less expensive to make, right? But it also solves two things. It's a little more dimensionally stable when wet, or if it gets wet, or if there's extra humidity, things like that, right? Where this will end up, solid wood would end up like cupping or bowing or, having some kind of problems. Now, of course, with solid wood, you can just sand it down. With the engineered wood, like I said, you can't normally sand it unless you have a really thick top layer. Then maybe you can sand it once or maybe twice in its lifetime. Typically it'll last, if you take care of it, a wood floor can last a long, long time. So that's engineered wood. And then you have laminate flooring. So laminate flooring is made, that's this guy right here. Still looks like wood, right? Everything we're talking about today is gonna look like wood, but the core is different. You can see this one's made like plywood. This one is made like particle board, which is, sawdust basically, right? It's little fine pieces of wood that it's mixed with glue, and then it has a layer laminated on top. That's why they call it a laminated floor, because they laminate this finish on it. Typically the finish is like a little plastic layer, so it has a little bit of a water resistance, but it's really thin, so it's not gonna have too much water resistance. A lot of times what happens if you get this wet over and over again is the water will seep through the joints. It'll get inside. See, you see the joints on the side right here. The water will get in those joints and then it'll puff up this board here. So this is the least waterproof. None of these things are waterproof, but they're a lot more water resistant, right? So this is gonna be more water resistant than like a solid wood, and both solid wood and engineered wood are gonna be a lot more water resistant than a laminated floor, right? Okay, so now we're moving on to more waterproof things, okay? We have a waterproof laminate. So this has a lot of different names right now. It's very popular right now. It is a luxury vinyl plank that is laminated on a waterproof substrate. And then they add this little sound layer on the end here on the back, so that it when you walk on it, it doesn't have that hollow sound to it. Now, nothing's going to sound like real wood, and I call engineered wood real wood. This is the majority of the wood that I install is engineered wood, because like I said, it is a superior wood than a solid wood for a lot of different reasons. Like I said, unless you want to refinish it over and over again. In most cases, engineered wood is a better product, in my opinion, to use. That's just my opinion. This is going to feel great to walk on. It's going to have a warm feeling to the touch. It's not going to feel cold like tile. You know, it's a little bit softer than other products, and it does feel like, I mean, there's nothing that really beats real wood. You know, this has a real wood finish on the top here, so it's hard to beat as far as like how it looks and how it feels when you walk on it. But if you need something more waterproof, because this, you know, you wouldn't put real wood in a bathroom, right? That just wouldn't happen because it'd get destroyed. By a kitchen, I always see it get messed up too, especially the triangle, the working triangle, you know, between the kitchen sink and the fridge. You know, you drop an ice cube, you kick it under the fridge. If you have, you know, waterproof laminate, if you have tile, it's not a big deal, right? It's just gonna evaporate eventually, or you clean it up later and it's fine. But with wood, you know, it could be a problem. With laminate, it's definitely gonna be a problem, right? And solid wood, it would be a problem too. So this is what they came up with. This is pretty new. It's about maybe 8 to 10 years old, and it's gotten really popular. This is a lot of what I install now for a wood look floor is a waterproof laminate. There's all kinds of names for it. Sometimes they call it vinyl flooring. Sometimes they call it waterproof vinyl. I've seen it called that. There's a lot of different names for this, but what it really is a luxury vinyl. Then there's also luxury vinyl, right? So luxury vinyl is just the top part of this, and you just glue it right on the concrete or right on your wood subfloor. For this is a click together system, so it's not meant to be glued down. It's meant to be what's called a floated floor, meaning that the floor is not attached to the subfloor. That's why they call it floating. It's pinned down by the baseboard or you know, any kind of moldings that go around the room, the perimeter. That's how you pin this down. So this is great for, like I said, bathrooms. It's fantastic for bathrooms. It's great for, and you can put it in any room in the house, really. Its only kryptonite is that it cannot handle direct sunlight. So I've seen damage by back slider doors, back patio doors, where the window is really low to the ground. You know, like a window that's, you know, 4 feet off the ground. I have never seen damage from that. So if you have direct sunlight coming in through a window like that, I haven't seen damage like that, but not that it couldn't. Typically it's right, so if you have your door right here, and your window stops right here, it's like right in this area. It's normally really close to where the window, you know, the sunlight hits the window, and that's direct sunlight, right? So if you have a patio cover, if you have an eave that's long enough, or if you don't have a south-facing, you know, patio doors, you know, if you face east, west, or north, you're only gonna get some sunlight, or, you know what I mean? You can figure out your own house to see if you get direct sunlight right hitting that area. If you do, then you're gonna wanna think about how you do it. You're either gonna have to put shutters on the windows, or you're gonna wanna put like a carpet down or a mat right in front of the slider door, or, you know, you'll have to figure something out. Okay, so that is waterproof laminate, okay? So this is very popular, and it's a very good price point too. Right now, I think it's running about, you know, between $8 and $10 installed, right, for a nice waterproof laminate. So, you know, if you got 1,000 square feet, that's like $8 grand, basically, right? All right, and this is 2023. So if you're watching this 5 years from now, it could be totally different pricing. Now, the last thing we have is tile. So tile is also waterproof, pretty indestructible. It can chip, obviously, but it's more shear chip from the side. So once you get it installed, it's really hard to damage from the top. I have seen damage from like metal foot furniture, can sometimes chip it. And, you know, if you're picking up things and dropping it on it, like a hammer or something, I guess it could chip. But other than that, it's pretty strong. Definitely can handle direct sunlight. You could submerge this in water. I mean, I tile showers with this stuff, right? This is porcelain tile. Commercial buildings, all that stuff, this is gonna outperform any of these other options as far as durability. And the looks that they have nowadays, I mean, you could tell this looks really good. I mean, they have a lot of really great options in wood look tile. Quite a bit more expensive than the waterproof laminate. It's about double the price. So something to consider. So in that same 1,000 square feet, if this was 8 grand, this would be like 16 grand. It's a lot more prep too. If you're putting it over concrete, you got to use crack suppressant membrane over the whole floor, slip sheet on the cold joints, modified thin set to stick it down with. This, you literally just have these pieces, you sand the floor flat or level it. You don't level a floor, but you can make it flat, right? And then you can put this down. So it's a lot simpler to install. Where this, you have a lot of prep. If you have it on a second floor, you're gonna have a wood subfloor, or if you have a raised foundation, you're gonna have a wood subfloor. Then you're gonna have to prep it with some kind of a backer board that gets glued and screwed down, and then a modified thin set, and then you put this over it. So the prep's a lot more, the labor's a lot more to put it in, and the material costs, typically double of what the waterproof laminate costs. So that's kind of your price point there. Woods, typically when I price out real wood, engineered wood, it's about the same price as tile. So that's kind of the price point you'd be in. And laminate is pretty cheap. It's the most inexpensive thing probably out of these, although the waterproof laminate is probably really close as far as pricing. So I would say the waterproof laminate, if you're in most situations, or if you're on a budget. Engineered wood, if you really love the feel and look of real wood, this is my favorite for sure. And tile, if you want something indestructible. And again, they have a lot of beautiful colors and styles to choose from. Okay, so that wraps up your education on wood and wood look flooring. I hope this helps you guys make your flooring decisions in the future. Good luck to you in your remodeling project. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. All right. That was it. Now you have engineered wood is the new wood. That's this guy right here. No, it's not. Let me start that over. I just picked something up. All right. We have engineered wood. Okay, let me do that again. So then after that, you have oh Jesus. Let me think about this.
Put it down.
Yeah.
Pick it up again.
Yeah.
Hold that one.
What is this? Forgetting my
Laminate flooring.
laminate. Thank you. Just got to read the labels, people. Wood feet furniture. Wood and wood look flooring. I'll say that again. I saw you going, yeah, something's over there. I hope this helped you make your flooring decisions, and
Say that. I hope this helps
Yeah.
you make your.
I hope this video helps you guys make your flooring. Oh, that just was a big clack.